Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Bo3 and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video. I'm here on Kukulane 917. I don't get to showcase this account very often just because I've been prioritizing Theramis and Isakis a little bit more often. If you haven't checked out my Theramis live arena videos, go ahead and check those out. We did place top 100 for just a couple moments, 2 different time frames. We did push to 94. I won't be trying to maintain top 100 by any means. The amount of fights and gems you have to do for the entire month is absurd, but we did get the mythic relic fragments within the first 2 weeks, so go ahead and check those videos out. Aside from that, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Go ahead, like and subscribe, comment below for me. If you're not new to the channel, thank you so much for all the support. I just want to shout out all of you guys. You guys are great. Thank you so much for everything. So real quick, back to Kukulane. I just want to showcase his account real quick. We did get lucky. We pulled Toshiro. We did earn Lady Mikage, so we do have the Wombo combo here. We do have some fantastic champions on this account, but that's not why we're here. Why we're here making this video right now is because I know that this last Nether spider can be kind of a pain, right? So this is why we're going to be making this video. We're going to be showcasing this team here against the Nether spider. Now, this account does have Ugo. I will be taking out the Freya for Ugo. Ugo is a little bit easier of a champion to obtain. One of the star champions is going to be this here, Silda Drakes. Her passive heals is going to be amazing. We'll get a little bit of extra heals from the Ugo. Ninja is going to be one of the main studs here. We will be controlling the spiderlings, which is where I think a lot of people have trouble with the Ninja and his A3 freeze. We got our Mithrala as our main cleanser. We have our Ugo as our off cleanser. This is important, so let's go ahead and get right into it. There's a couple ways to really do these fights, right? You can, especially with Fabian now, you can try to strip those counterattacks. You can use Venomage to put the heal reduction, but if you don't have those champions, and you do have these champions, this is a great way to go about it. So I will manual the whole thing for you guys here. We're just going to A1 here for the most part. We will A2 for Silda Drakes, because we don't want to use the A2 during the fight for the Nether spider boss, right? So let's go ahead and just get through these waves real quick, best we can. But we really don't want to use our main abilities during these little waves, because we want to have them for the boss fight. So we're going to just A1 for the most part through these fights here. We're going to take out the main damage dealers. We're going to try and get through the Venus here first. So she's going to do her thing, which is not going to be too much of a pain here, right? We're going to try and take out the Venus here. We're going to take a small amount of damage, nothing crazy. They do get petrified from Mithrala here. So we're not going to worry about this damage quite yet. He will get these debuffs taken off of him during the boss fight. So if we can kill before he really takes too much damage, it won't be a massive deal. He'll just get it back once we go through this round, which is looking like kind of the case. He might be missing a little bit of HP, but no big deal. So here we are at the boss fight. This is where I think a lot of people struggle. So you want to have your main cleanser go first. We're going to get the heals here. We're just going to A1 here with Silda Drakes. Now we're going to try and freeze the whole team. We freeze everybody on the spiderlings, so they are not going to be able to counterattack us. Now we're going to go in with the decreased speed here. You want to decrease speed. We're going to try and make sure that we reduce as much turn meter as possible, making sure he has the decreased speed so we don't fall behind in the rotation here. So now the damage is not that significant here. from that. We get a little bit of heal from here. As you can see, our ninja is taking damage, but we will heal with our off cleanser. Now, it's important to decrease turn meter here. You want to have somebody who does that. So now we want to save this cleanse because he's on turn 1, and when he takes his turn, we're going to take the poisons again. So you want to save that cleanse for the initial summoning of the nether spiders. It's very important. Okay, so, and it's also, we have 10 debuffs here. So we'll continue to do that. The ninja might die here. He will die here. We'll revive him with the Silda Drakes. And he's gonna die. Thor will die here. So we're taking heavy damage, but that's okay. We're going to continue to do what we do. So now we have our freeze back again. We're going to freeze everybody here on the team, and now we're not worried about the counterattacks. We won't have our Thor right now. We'll have to wait for the res again here. But we will hopefully be able to kill some of these little guys. We're falling a little bit behind here without Thor. We're gonna heal. We cannot cleanse right there. He's on 1. But what we're gonna do is leave these spiderlings. Okay, so we're in trouble actually. We have to cleanse here. We're gonna go here. He doesn't, did you notice he didn't summon the spiderlings there because they were not killed yet and they were frozen, so they didn't get to go. But right here, we're gonna take our chance. These two aren't frozen. We're gonna try and kill them right here. We don't kill them. We get a small heal, not a big deal. We're going to kill this one. We're gonna attack here. This is gonna be another heal, I think. We get the kill, so we're right there on the edge. Getting lucky here. So now we want to hail burn here. So we still have 2 turns. We're going to off cleanse heal. Going to go in for damage. Next turn we'll be able to revive on the Silda Drakes for Mr. Thor. So we want to save this for when the spiderlings come out. It's very important. We cannot cleanse right here. We have to wait for the cleanse. Ninja will probably die again. But let's go ahead and do this for the block buffs. We'll keep the leech out. Leech is important too, so we will revive Thor. We're gonna put the buffs up. Now he will summon his little spiderlings. We might actually lose both of these guys, actually. Hopefully not. So this is where we got lucky here. We're gonna freeze here. So now if we lose these 2, but because of the passive here, we get the cleanse. You can see how the team is actually working. The passive heals are keeping them alive. We don't have decreased speed yet, which is okay, because we're gonna just try and kill all the spiderlings. We don't get him, but you can see how this team is working. It has a lot of synergy. We're going to put up decreased defense. We want to kill this spiderling before we hail them. Very important. Now we're going to off heal and cleanse. Now we're going to kill the little spiderling, decrease speed. We're going to buff. Now the hail burn will happen. Very important, the hail burn. And you can see how this team is not like a meta team or anything like that. This is a very common team. All champions that like one epic, I mean debatably one of the best epics, right? But still an epic, free champion, technically free champion, was a free champion, and was a fusion, so free champion. So these are all kind of easily accessible champions if you've been playing long enough to be at this stage of the game. Now, we're not going to do the big A2. We're going to try and decrease turn meter, right? We want to still get ahead of... See how now we'll have this available for when the spiderlings come out. This is an important part of the steps here. Now, this is the only time I will cleanse before this happens, and it's because we don't want to take an insane amount of damage from these buffs before they come out. So we're going to do it now. And it's only because we're at the end here. If we weren't at the end, I wouldn't have done that. But see how we didn't take a whole lot of damage. Now we'll get the poisons up. But hopefully we get them both here. So there will be a small heal, no big deal. We'll bounce back from that. What we will do is freeze here. We get the freeze everywhere. Now we'll kill everybody. Okay. Now, there are a lot of poisons, but we're not going to take a tremendous amount of damage quite yet. What's going to happen is we're going to buff. And we're going to hail burn. And the brimstone will come down. It didn't come down. We were just too slow. I think we can still win right here, though. Real quick. So there we go. So not the smoothest run, right? We were just slow by this much. So actually, real quick, I kind of want to do that fight again for you guys. This time, let's see if we can have better, not necessarily RNG, but let's use... I kind of want to use Lady Mikage here, actually. But I don't want to go too... like, mythic heavy, right? I'm trying to use team that more people will have. This is not the main team I use, but I did want to kind of showcase the team that maybe everybody would have access to, or more people would have access to. So as you can see, that team did work. I mean, it was a little bit shisty in some areas, but if you have Cythalia could work. If you have Fabian can work for stripping the counterattack. If you have Venomage, his heal reduction will work. Those are ways to, if you happen to be lucky and you have Lady Mikage, she is strong against here, you can use the ninja, turn into the A2, right, in the beginning, stun them all, and then kind of off stun and freeze with the ninja, and then swap back into her first form when there's no spiderlings, and get the ally attack in and the A1 ally attack, the buff extension, stuff like that. So she can work in that Ugo slot as well. So if you have champions like that, if you have Freya can work. The only issue with Mithrala and Freya are that their A1s are AoEs. Same with like Galathier. I know it's a mythic, but if you happen to have him, same with him, it can be that same kind of way. Cythalia I think is very good because of the heal. You could even use somebody like Awella, who has a great heal and a buff extension, turn meter boost, to get ahead of the speed. Sometimes I think what happens with a lot of people who are at this point who are struggling is maybe their speeds aren't fast enough to deal with the spider loop, the main spider, right? So the main spider is fast, so it's good to bring a decreased speed champion. That's why Thor is so good. Or maybe an increased speed champion. If the affinity wasn't blue and it was green or red, I would suggest Ragesh, who has increased speed and an AoE stun. So you could use that as well, instead of maybe a Thor. So these are all champions that I think would be fantastic, right? If you're maybe concerned about your healing and your speeds, you could maybe replace the Silda Drakes for Arbiter. The thing with Silda Drakes is Silda Drakes can be built so tanky that she's not really going to die. And her passive is going to keep the damage mitigated from the like poisons and the small amounts of damage like that. You could also use Godseeker for the heals. You just have to be careful with the counterattack stuff. So maybe bring a stripper. Sun Wukong is good. He's just bad affinity right now to this, but Sun Wukong is excellent. You could even use Tagore in that Silda Drake spot with his heal, increased speed, revive. Tagore is fantastic, right? So just champions like that are really good for things like this. Let me see if I have anybody else who I'd also recommend. You could maybe use Doom Priest for the passive cleanse in some cases with the heal. I mean, strangely enough, I've never tested it, right? But you could maybe even use Seer to do her cleanse, right? And take all the buffs and debuffs off and maybe do some crazy damage. I've never tested that. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about that. I think that might be low-key pretty sweet. I'm still building Seer on this account. I don't have Lydia yet or Mashal for her to really be at full optimization. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. This is just a really basic team that I think a lot of people could have that would do okay. Maybe if you have Adeline built, you can use her for a heal if you're struggling with the heals. I like Ugo because she brings a leech. Leech is also very good, so when you're dealing with damage, it helps mitigate some of the damage. Things like that. So I did want to build this team for you guys to kind of showcase this Nether Spider build or team right here. Also, if you don't know and you're kind of new for some odd reason, there is a boss guide here, and it does explain to you what the boss actually is doing and how it works, and it's really how I've explained it, but you can do that. You can also look here in Teams of the Week. Now, these are going to be Super Kraken accounts, right? So you might not have triple newts or newt resets, Marius, things like that. Geomancer, excellent champion for damage. I do have a team that my Bothresis account uses, and he uses Helicath, Geomancer, Silda Drakes, Godseeker Nari, and Duchess. And basically, that's a full auto team. The AI will not attack the little spiderlings, and with all the passive healing and healing going on, the Geomancer just does all the damage, right? Now, the problem why I didn't showcase that team, or it's not Geomancer, it's Drexstar, his passive, but Geomancer and Drexstar are kind of doing the same thing, right? So you can kind of swap those two in and out. But yeah, it just dies by itself to HP burn, kind of like the Cheese Twin Iron Fortress team with the Geomancer, Helicath, or Rochguard, and the Triple Pankeepers. It just kills itself to HP burn and the reflect damage from the Geomancer. But that's not the team I'm showcasing today. There are a bunch of different strategies for that and this, but this is the team I'm showcasing today for you guys. Ninja is really the one, the freeze for the little spiderlings, that way they're not always counterattacking, and as you saw, it does work. It's not the best strategy, but it is a more free-to-play strategy than some of those other strats. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment for me down below. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much. Goodbye.